Yeah, I was just looking back, I think last year, and again, no guarantee to repeat it. It looks like it was November the 20th ish was the first time we got below 32 degrees Fahrenheit here in Chicago.
which is really late.
Yeah, really, it's weeks and weeks late. Because remember, I've been tracking it the years prior, and October 30th, 31st, November 1st, it was pretty spot on. Like that was the anticipated first frost date, and we got it. Last year was an anomaly. But I say that to say, I think it's the season of the garden you're in as far as the season as a gardener. There have been times that for my summer plants, I've made Herculean efforts in those last days. There have been times I've taken containers of lettuce, which is again more cold tolerant, obviously, into the garage. There's been times where I have not covered any of my plants,
Yeah.
and even forgotten to cover some peppers, and they've been fine with that first frost. A lot of what's in my garden in most falls around this time of year, to be frank, are going to be kale and collards. And, we have to get down into like the real 20s for there to be even some level of limpness.
Yeah.
Um, so there is something to say about like what are you growing? I don't want a fall garden only of kale and collards as much as I enjoy them both though.
That
But
would
that's going to
be,
be the least stress.
there's a some people by my house, they have a garden, and every fall, like come July, they empty it out. It's empty. And then every fall, it's row after row after row after row of collards. They don't eat them. I mean, they don't sell them. They must eat the hell out of some collards, but that's like all they grow. And, it's funny you think that, but what if you did just do like pick 3 or 4 vegetables for fall, So I've got 11 beds in a greenhouse. Let's say all I did was cabbage, greens, and broccoli and just planted all that. You'd have a lot of, I mean, you might be hitting on something there.
So get out of my head. So there are
I'm
two
about to go
thoughts that I
rip
just
my garden
had.
out and start over.
Yeah, two thoughts I had. I planted in the sunniest space in the backyard. Uh, this is that um, 8 foot by 2 foot bed, so very small width. I did a cluster of arugula, one of your favorites. It's never his favorite when I say that. Then the second row was bok choy, and then the third row behind it, they were turnips. And one of the quick remember I talked about the sweet corn in our shop, the Silver King.
Mm-hmm.
I started it indoors, fastest thing to grow. That turnip plantings, bok choy, and the arugula are all growing at the same clip and super fast to germinate, to continue to grow. They were sown like at some point, maybe the second or third week of August. Perfect timing. And as I look at it, and I look at some of my other direct sowed seedlings, they're just like womp womp womp. I said, well, shoot, I feel like I could have doubled or tripled down on these. So I say, like, get out of my head because there's definitely, if there's any fine tuning that I have to do, it is fine tuning in the footprint of fall. Not, I was kind of teasing about making my summer footprint growing less in the summer because I mean, when am I ever going to do that? But fine tuning, like how much for fall, specifically what for fall is probably a better way to say it versus how much. And the easiest way to do that is to narrow it down to a couple of crops. So I'm going to find out arugula does well in my fall garden. I'm going to find out lettuces always do well in my fall garden. I'm going to find out. Um, we'll see what bok choy and how turnips do. We know that collards that are established going into fall do well in my garden. We'll see what new plantings of collards do. The same for new plantings of kale. Although I do have some previous experience with that. Like that's a part of the excitement for me. This is because if you get that tuned in, like that changes everything for you coming out of your summer garden. That whole, we all are always talking like, oh, I have that analysis paralysis, spaces stay empty because I'm trying to figure out what to put in next. Is it too hot? Is it too cold? Yada yada yada. And then you are like, in June saying you're gonna be finalizing your fall garden plan soon. What if it was only 5 crops that we were growing? That make it super easy, didn't it? Wouldn't it?